Welcome to the entertaining Talkin' Sports.
What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video as the New York Giants continue to fill up their coaching staff. And now news has come out that the New York Giants have brought on Dooley. In addition to that, we now know the defined role of Freddie Kitchens. Freddie Kitchens, of course, the former head coach of the Cleveland Browns. He's a guy that a lot of people don't really love to hire. Browns fans were kind of getting on me in the video. They said he's going to fail. But once again, like I've said with a lot of these coaches, he's a guy that brings experience. He's a guy that has a relationship with that of a Joe Judge. And he's a guy that is not taking one of these primary roles. He's been announced, I believe, as the tight ends coach for the New York Giants. So he'll be coach of the tight end, something that he's done a lot in the past. And hopefully has a lot of success with the Giants. Obviously, we have some young talent there in a Caden Smith and Evan Ingram if he does stay on. And Evan Ingram is a player that if used properly, if we do keep him, I think could really thrive this year in this offense. Being, you see how the Air Coryell offense has been used in the past with the Chargers and the Cowboys. Jason Witten obviously had a lot of success. And, going back to the days of the Chargers, they kind of invented the pass-catching tight end, in a Kellen Winslow. So, really looking forward to seeing what the tight ends can do this year in this offense. And why not bring in a guy like Freddie Kitchens, who's coached tight ends in the past throughout his entire career, and obviously had success in doing it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have never gotten close to becoming an offensive coordinator and eventually a head coach. So I like that hire, a guy that brings experience and familiarity to that of a Joe Judge. But the primary guy I want to talk about in this video is Dooley. Now, his role has not been announced yet, but he will be some kind of assistant with the New York Giants, and it will be on the offensive side of the football, which is where Dooley has worked his entire career. Now, the connection to Joe Judge here, he's never coached with Joe Judge, but he did coach under Nick Saban, and I'll get to that when I pull up his resume. His major connection here is he did work with Jason Garrett for 5 years, and he's also a very smart mind. He's also been a head coach before for a major program with the team that is pictured there in the Tennessee Volunteers. Things did not go so well when he was very young and got an opportunity to coach his first major program. He was a coach at a previous spot as well, but I think he could bring a lot to this New York Giants team. I would think his primary focus, even though he will not be the wide receivers coach, will be at the wide receiver position. I believe he played as a wide receiver in college, and he definitely coached wide receivers with the Dallas Cowboys. And like I said, his main connection here is with that of a Jason Garrett. And one thing I do like is the Giants seem to be bringing in guys who are very familiar with this system, be it, Mark Colombo, now you have Dooley. Both of them coached under Jason Garrett. Both of them know how the system works. And I know a lot of people are going to hear a former Cowboy and they're going to get upset. I just want to win football games, guys. And if Dooley, who's a very smart mind, who has experience coaching under Jason Garrett, could help us with that as an assistant, let's get going. So here we go. Here is the resume for that of a Dooley. I'm going to try to do it as quick as I can. I know sometimes it's a bit time-consuming. Started at Georgia as a graduate assistant. Went to SMU as a wide receivers coach for 3 years. Then became a tight ends coach at LSU for 3 years, his first major college program that he got a job at. Then got promoted for 2 years to become a running backs coach and a special teams coach. Became the tight ends coach with Nick Saban for 2 years, which is the slight connection there. Obviously, Joe Judge learned under Nick Saban at first, and he learned under Nick Saban in the NFL before Saban went back to Alabama. Then got a head coaching job with Louisiana Tech for 3 years. Did a pretty good job there, which is why he got the opportunity with the Tennessee Volunteers as a head coach, and that did not go well. From what I read, there were not a lot of great things that were said about him as a head coach. But again, we're not hiring this guy as a head coach. We're not even hiring this guy as a coordinator. He's going to be an offensive assistant, which is what he kind of did with the Cowboys for 5 years under that of a Jason Garrett. And I'll get into some of the things, of what he did there with the Cowboys, because that's obviously going to be his, really the experience that we're going to be looking at more than anything else, being that he coached under Jason Garrett there. And by all accounts, did a really good job. Obviously, you saw wide receivers like Cole Beasley, who was kind of thought to be a nobody, do well there. A number of other guys that were not really highly thought of wide receivers did pretty good with the Dallas Cowboys under him, which is why he got the offensive coordinator job and quarterbacks coach with Missouri for the last 2 years. And now he is coming back to the NFL to be an assistant under head coach Joe Judge and offensive coordinator Jason Garrett. So there you go. This is the first thing I wanted to pull up. This was broke by Art Stapleton. I'm told Dooley is joining Joe Judge's coaching staff with the New York Giants per source. Likely will be an offensive side and will have a role unspecified at the moment. I did read that he's going to be some kind of offensive assistant. Dooley most recently served as the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach at Missouri. He was also a head coach at Louisiana Tech and Tennessee. So there's the tweet by Art Stapleton that broke the news. Then I went on Giants Wire, pulled up a couple of quotes about him. Dooley spent the 2018 and 2019 season serving as the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach for Missouri, which came on the heels of a 5-year stint as wide receivers coach with the Dallas Cowboys, serving under current Giants offensive coordinator Jason Garrett. So that's basically just telling you. And then I wanted to get into some of the quotes of some of the things that he accomplished while he worked specifically with the Dallas Cowboys, because like I said, that's what I'm concerned with. That's what I'm looking at. And that's what I think you, as Giants fans, should be looking at. The success he had in a similar role as to what he will have with the New York Giants, working under a very similar, offense. Obviously, the Air Coryell system. On February 5th, 2013, the Dallas Cowboys officially hired Dooley as their wide receivers coach. During his time, the Cowboys offense ranked in the top 5 in points per game 2014 and 2016, total yards 2016, pass yards per play 2014 and 2016, third down conversion percentage in 2014, and red zone conversion percentage in 2014 and 2016. So obviously, he had a ton of success, specifically in those 2 years. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Romo got hurt in 2015. I could be wrong. 2016 was Dak Prescott's rookie year, if I remember correctly. So maybe he didn't get hurt in 2015. But either way, had a lot of great accomplishments there early on. And then we go on to read, I just want to make sure I read the rest of this. The Cowboys offense set an NFL record 8 consecutive games of 400-plus total net yards in 2016 under Dooley's tutelage. Dez Bryant was selected to his only 3 Pro Bowls of his career, and in 2014 was named to the first-team All-Pro. In that same year, Bryant set the Dallas Cowboys record for most touchdowns in a season. Dooley's tenure included the development of Terrence Williams and undrafted free agent Cole Beasley. Williams is number 7 in the NFL in yards per reception from 2013 to 2016. So Terrence Williams wasn't this unbelievable receiver, but he, they're saying obviously he was a deep threat. Was number 7 in the league in yards per reception. And that's just an example of taking guys who were not thought to be great prospects and getting the most out of them. Cole Beasley, of course, became one of the best slot wide receivers in football and signed a pretty lucrative contract with the Buffalo Bills this offseason. And is ranked number 5 in Cowboys history in touchdowns in his first 4 seasons. Beasley was ranked as the most reliable slot receiver by Pro Football Focus. He ranked top 5 in the NFL in catch percentage in 2014 and 2016, and third down receiving in 2016, which is where Dooley operated with the Dallas Cowboys, right? He was a wide receivers coach, and you saw, obviously, Dez Bryant had his best years under Dooley. You saw some of these other guys who were thought to be nothings perform pretty well under that of a Derek Dooley. So, very smart mind, a guy that's had great success in this offense, and a guy that I really like. And it's another guy with a lot of experience. It's another former head coach, albeit at the collegiate level, that you're adding to this staff. So this staff is very, it's very well equipped with guys with a lot of experience, whether it be at the college level or the NFL level. And I think Joe Judge has done a great job. This is another hire, though, that certainly has more ties to that of a Jason Garrett than a Joe Judge. And I'm sure Jason Garrett is telling Joe Judge, listen, these are the guys I want for my offense to perform at an optimal level. And I think that's obviously why they brought this guy in. And obviously, Dooley probably views this as an opportunity to thrive again and maybe get an offensive coordinator job at the NFL level, being that he had so much success with Garrett the first time around. And then finally, I just wanted to show you this guys. Dooley obviously fits the mold of a lot of these other coaches that the New York Giants have brought in. He's a very smart mind, and I go back to what Joe Judge has said from the start. Teach. He wants good people, he wants smart people, and that's what Derek Dooley is. Dooley holds a bachelor's degree in government and foreign affairs from Virginia and a law degree from the University of Georgia, which he earned in 1994 before becoming a football coach. Dooley practiced law at a private firm in Atlanta for 2 years. So there you go. This guy is obviously a very smart mind. He's still relatively young, and he has a lot of experience in the NFL and in college. He coached under Nick Saban, the same coach who Joe Judge learned under as well, and obviously has a lot of experience, 5 years under Jason Garrett in this offense. And he got the most out of the players in that system. I think we don't know his title yet. He's an assistant, but I would think he'd work predominantly with the wide receivers. It's also nice to see that he has some experience the last 2 years as a quarterback coach with Missouri as he furthered his resume, and maybe he could bring something to that of a Daniel Jones. We're just going to have to wait and see. But some really interesting and, in my opinion, good hires for the New York Giants. Very experienced staff, guys. Obviously the head coach isn't that experienced, but the guys under him are incredibly experienced. And Derek Dooley just is another guy to add to this staff that, in a limited role, him and, of course, Freddie Kitchens, who will be the tight ends coach, bring a lot to the table. So I'm a big fan of this hire. I'm a big fan of Freddie Kitchens as the tight ends coach, and we'll see what the New York Giants could get cooking this year in 2020. As always, guys, if you like what you watch, please subscribe, drop a comment, maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.